Good morning. Um, shoot, Wednesday? Wait, is it? Yeah, it's Wednesday. Darn, why did I think it was Thursday? It's Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's definitely Wednesday. I'm getting ahead of myself. Um, now I gotta check. All right, it is Wednesday. This is terrible. How do I not even know what day it is? Oh well. Good morning, Dora. Good morning, Susan. I hope you actually are aware of what day it is, unlike me, and have a better grasp on what's going on in your surroundings. Um, Actually, what reminded me of it was I have. So this is what I've started to do. Okay, I'm gonna tell you my secret here to try to keep things straight. Is I'm trying to schedule things for certain days. Um, I guess when my kids were young, I did more of that. I was more scheduled. In I had a certain day to go grocery shopping and a certain day for other things. Um, and then when my dad was living with us, definitely like he had Tuesdays, right? So Tuesdays were my day, to do anything he needed to do. Like we would make doctor's appointments then, or go to the store. Like basically, I didn't plan anything on Tuesdays. It was just whatever he wanted to do, and that was kind of my way of coping with that whole situation was um, to just give a day over to him. So instead of you know asking me for things all week, like just wait till Tuesday. All right, we'll do it Tuesday. Um, but then as the kids got older and were busy with their stuff, um, I just kind of let go of that because I don't know. And then things just I don't know. I would do things when I was out, right? So if I was out coming from back from class, I might go to the store, things like that. But of course, that's not happening anymore. So now um, it's all much weirder, right? And no, there's no structure, there's no order to anything. Everything's just all over the place. So yeah, now I have to set things on certain days so that I actually know what day it is. So, and the reason I know this is because Wednesdays is my vegetable delivery day. So um, I have a. So I tried this a few months ago, and it was with mixed results. There's a service that started in Philadelphia where they kind of they're kind of a clearinghouse for over overstocked vegetables and fruits and vegetables, and they'll just ship you a box, and you don't. Back when I did it, you didn't know what you would get. It could be anything, something seasonal things, but anything. Now they allow you to choose um, a little, more or less like you get some choices like this or this. Um, that being said, I got my first box last week and it was completely not what I ordered. So I don't really know if you get to choose or not. I think I got someone else's box. It's very random. But for me, for organic vegetables, it's pretty cheap, and I'm I just like the idea of getting vegetables delivered to my house. I can't deny it. I remember hearing stories. My dad would tell about guys that would come down their street in with like push carts and trucks and with vegetables and fish and different things. And I always thought, my God, it's so amazing. I would love that. So this is as close as I'm going to get to that. Um, so anyway, that's Wednesdays. So I've scheduled that for Wednesdays. So that will let me know that it's the middle of the week. So it's coming today. And then I don't know how I'm going to keep track of the rest of the week. Different things. I've tried to schedule the kids on, a day each. Like don't ask me for stuff except on this day. I don't think that's really going to work, but I'm hopeful. Um, we'll see. See how far that goes. All right. So yeah. Um, One of the things that we try with yoga is to get things ordered, right? We're trying to kind of get things in your mind straightened out, things in your body straightened out with movement. We're moving energy through the body. And you want to set up an environment that is conducive to this, right? If you feel like your home life is super chaotic, there's no particular order to things, and you're struggling, take some time to see what you can do to get that straightened out. It's it's hard. We've all made some transitions, and um, for some of us, for all of us, I think it's kind of hard to take that this is how it is and this is how it's going to be for a while. My husband, I think I told you guys this before, he just, after 6 months of working at home, he finally kind of accepted that this is how it is and got his, uh, got everything set up the way he needed to. He put like an extension on his desk and another monitor. Good morning, Ruth, and things like that, so that he didn't have like I think he was like he had like a laptop here and he was something and he was just it was a very temporary situation. Um, and I think it was it's telling that it took it was 6 months of a temporary situation. And I think for a lot of us it feels like that. It feels like this is just temporary until you think that it's been more than 6 months, and then when does it become um, semi-permanent, or at least long enough that we should be making some changes, right? Um, do whatever you need to do to make things work for you, right? If you need to rearrange your schedule, rearrange your house, um, buy a couple things to make being at home more comfortable for you. Maybe uh, upgrade your technology so that you can do Zoom calls and Skype calls and um, I don't know. I don't know. It'll be whatever works for you. What is it that is going to make you feel more comfortable being at home more? Um, it is definitely harder for some people than others. I've got some friends who are huge extroverts, right? So that idea of extrovert, introvert, I'm sure that you know about this, but um, the idea is that introverts get their energy from alone time. I mean, everybody likes some alone time, but introverts generally really enjoy that. Like they they can be out with people, but where they get their energy is really from their own soul pursuits. Um, and extroverts really f- kind of feed. I would say feed. That sounds terrible, but they they are energized by being around other people. They really come to life when that, and they feel good. That's a way they feel better than being on their own. So this is tough. This is a tough thing for people who have that. Um, I think in my house we're pretty even split. I think my husband and my daughter are more extroverted, but they aren't highly um, they can get some of that from being here too. I mean, there are 5 of us here in the house, right? So it's a bit of a crowd when we all get together. But there are things that you can do. So people have been moving into what they call pods, which I think is kind of a fun word, right? So it's like we're dolphins making groups. Um, so if you have other people that are socially distancing and being taking precautions and doing all the things to try to stay safe, um, people have grouped up with those people so that you're both being very careful about who you see and where you go, um, but then you are able to sort of socialize with one another still in a socially uh, responsible way. So maybe outdoors, maybe on a screen porch, um, being able to spend time together without it being something that would be maybe hazardous for you or for other people. So, we all kind of get creative with that and figure out how to make that work. Um, I think the main thing to remember is that everybody is struggling with this. It's not just us. It's not just, it feels like sometimes it's just you struggling out there, but it's not. And everyone is looking for these opportunities. So if you have someone that you enjoy spending time with and you haven't seen them in a long time, maybe propose that you guys, get together in a way that's safe and see each other. Um, my husband has continued to keep up his weekly, or I should say bi-weekly, right? Every payday. Um, so when we were young and had zero money, um, my husband, a lot of people would go out to eat at work, and my husband was doing that, and I'm like, dude, you can't do that anymore. It's too expensive. You can do it on payday. So, so he started doing that on payday with another friend of his that he was working with. And so, 20 years later, they're still doing that. Um, and more often than not, on paydays, they get together and go out to lunch. So since this all happened, they've started doing that. They go down to Chick-fil-A, not far from um, my husband's friend lives in Middletown, and they park their cars windows facing like policemen park in the parking lot, so they can chat and but still stay far enough away from each other. So that's worked out for them pretty well. Um, so that is to say, right? Finding ways of doing what you want to do or what you used to do, but that fit into this new framework. Um, they may not be perfect. It may not be ideal, but it's um, it's a way, right? Identifying what it is that you are missing and finding a new way to do it that fulfills whatever desire that you have from this activity that you used to do. Um, it's important, right? It's important for us to keep moving forward, and we're not going to do this if we don't find ways to do this. Um, with yoga, right? Yoga helps us see what's happening, to see what's real, not to live in the past, not to live in a regret and sadness, but to look to opportunities that are coming our way to do things in a new way. Um, and right there's, if you are sad and you don't feel great about what's happening, I don't blame you. I mean, That would be a normal reaction. But we can't stay there. We have to move along. So yoga helps us, right? It helps us move on and not get stuck, get bogged down. So as you move through your practice today, think about not getting stuck, not getting, staying in a place where you were, but instead just moving on to the next. Sitting up tall. I keep meaning to get my new mat. It's not my new mat, my old mat. I gotta go out and find it. I'm not even sure where my mats are at this point. Everything was in my car, and then I brought it in, and then it went to the other place, and then here. So yeah, everything is everywhere. I gotta track those things down. All right, breathe and relax. One more breath. And then chin down toward the chest. Just let your head hang down. Moving around. Big circle. One way and then the other. Back to center. Lean forward and move around. One way and the other. Back up to your seat, arms wide. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands together. Inhale, bring the arms wide. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift your arms, gaze up. And then bring the arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Once more, lifting up. Left arm by your side, reach across. Doesn't matter which one you pick. Doing left to start. And then switch. Back up. Let's walk the hands out in front. Walk the hands back. Hands behind you a little bit. Fingertips pointed away from the body. Squeeze the shoulders together. Gaze up. Come back to your seat. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind you. Sit up tall, and then twist. Back to center, switch sides, and twist. And then back to center. Tabletop. Sit back on the heels. Back up to tabletop, moving through cat-cow for a few repetitions. So we're starting out dropping the belly, lifting up the head. As you inhale, exhale, drawing the belly in, press down with the hands. Gazing down at the mat, and just moving as you breathe, inhales and exhales. And then sitting back on the heels. Maybe stack the fists, so we're resting the forehead or the chin. And then to wrap it here. So staying kind of in this position, but we're going to bring the knees close together if they aren't already. And we're going to bring the hands back by our side, reaching back for the sides of the feet or the heels. If you can't reach back that far, maybe we're just tucking the fingers underneath the ankles or the shins. You just want something to kind of hold on to here. Tucking the chin so that the crown of the head, the top of the head, is just resting lightly on the mat. If you are really up high, maybe you're not even close to that, that's fine. We're just going to tuck the chin as much as possible. And then lifting up the hips. We're using that grasp to kind of break, see that we don't come too far forward. And ideally, we have just kind of a light amount of pressure on the top of the head. We don't want to put a lot of weight on that, but a little bit is good, just to feel that head resting on the mat. And then coming back, let's bring the knees wide on the mat. And then arms out in front. Again, you could stack the fists here to rest the head, or you could just bring the body a little more forward. Make your way back up. Tabletop to downward dog. And then step the feet up. Come down to a seat on the mat, soles of the feet together. Sitting up tall, fold forward. Moving back up, both legs out in front. Lift the arms, deep breath in, fold forward. Coming back up, we're going to bend the right knee. Hug that in close, sitting up nice and tall. Take a couple of breaths, and then dropping that knee out to the side. Right foot rests next to the left thigh. Take a deep breath, and then we're going to lean forward, reaching left hand down towards the foot. Moving back up. Switch sides. Again, hugging that leg in for a few breaths. And then lowering out to the side. Deep breath, fold forward. Back up, both legs out in front. Take a deep breath and fold. And back up. Let's flex the feet. Pointing and flexing. And then rotating. So these are great to do anytime, right? You know, trying to work on that ankle flexibility, foot flexibility. You know, a lot of times, especially if we are used to wearing very restrictive shoes, we lose some of that ankle movability. So we want to work to try to sort of get that back. And honestly, walking without shoes is a great way to do it, or with very soft shoes. So, you know, slippers or anything like, you know, anything that is less structured so that your feet really have to work. You know, a lot of times people who wear boots, and you'll see this with, you know, older guys who've worn boots for work a lot, they've lost this, right? Their foot is kind of stuck in the position that their boots kind of held them in, and they've lost this ability to flex. And you have to kind of work to get that back. You know, because we aren't always wearing our boots, and when we aren't, then we are very, you know, compromised down there. We don't want that. We want to be strong and flexible in the feet too. Everything strong and flexible. So we're going to bend the knees, catch a hold of toes, or it could be the feet. Whatever you want to do. We're going to balance here. So lifting the heels so that we're just leaning back a little so we're steady, right? Then maybe we come halfway or more. Keep breathing. If you roll over, that's fine. Coming back up. And then bend the knees. We're going to set the heels back down. Bring the hands to the side. So you could have the arms extended. And we're going to lift up the heels. You could also bring the hands behind the knees if this is tough, right? If you feel like this is difficult. Or you could, you know, start out here and then extend. Knees can be bent. You could also straighten. It just makes it more intense. And then on back. And we're going to lower down onto your back. And get comfortable here, relaxing, feeling nice and supported. Sometimes when you're transitioning onto your back or onto your front, things need to move around a little. Maybe, your hips don't feel quite right, or there's some movement or clicking in the shoulder area. Just see what you need to do, right? Just relax. If you want to move around, bring the arms up and out, or whatever it is, you want to feel very stable and solid on the mat before you start moving around. Bring that right knee in towards the chest. We're going to extend the left leg long. And then from here, you can extend the leg if you want. You can stay right here, or you could move your hand up to hold on to the ankle or the shin. If you can, grab a hold of the toe. That's fine. Work on, trying to get the leg as straight as possible, but you can see, right? Yeah, you can see my leg is not straight. It's definitely bent. So if you have some tightness in the hamstring, that's fine. Just keep that little bend. And then release it back down. And let it extend. Same thing, other side. Hooking that left leg in. And then extending, however it works on this side. And then bending the knee. Extend both legs long. Relax. Breathe. Arms up over your head. Let's bring the arms out to a T and the legs a little wider on the mat, so we're in this 5-pointed star. Palms face up toward the sky. bringing everything back to center. Let's bring the right ankle, top of the left knee, and then drawing that knee in close to the chest. Maybe, right? If not, then we're just keeping that left foot on the floor, pressing the right knee away from the body. You know which version of this works for you. And that's not to say you shouldn't try the other one, right? If you always do it with that left foot on the floor, maybe try this. See how far you get. See if there's been some movement in the hip. And vice versa. If you've got some issues, the hip's feeling super tight, maybe this isn't, even though you do this all the time, today you're not going to be able to, and that's fine. Right? Again, look, we want to try to see what we need for the day. And it'll change from one day to the next. Set everything back down, switch. And then working on the other side. So we do try to keep the sides even. So if you are doing one type on one side, probably want to do the same thing on the other. And then both feet back down to the mat. You got your block. I'm going to do supported bridge, but you're welcome to do whatever kind of bridge you want to do. Lifting up. Find a place for the block if that's what you're doing. And breathe. You can bend the knees if you want. Maybe extend. Slipping off the block. And then bring your knees back down if you have them up. Coming off the block. And resting back down, soles of the feet together. Knees apart, maybe arms up over your head. That feels good. Bring the knees together. Hug them into the chest. You can move a little side to side. And then arms to a T or goalpost arms. We're moving both knees over to the right for a twist. And then knees move left. Back to center. Extend the legs straight up. Got soles of the feet pressing toward the sky. And then lowering down. And be comfortable here. Find a peaceful place. Letting your mind feel very calm. Noticing the breath. Noticing sounds in the room. But not getting attached to them or really thinking much about them. Just notice and move on. So yoga is at the core about acceptance. Right? We are accepting the truth of the world and ourselves, that we are one, that we are all together. We are accepting the truth of who we are, right? That we are beautiful and eternal, but we are also flawed and struggling, as is everyone. We are accepting of that. We can see the beauty behind everything else. So, yoga wants us to accept it all, acknowledge that it's there. Don't pretend it's not. Don't turn your head away. Don't deny that there are problems. But know that there is something greater than that, something more powerful and more beautiful and eternal than any problems that you may ever have or anyone may ever have. And when we know this, when we truly believe this, it gives us strength. It gives us the power to move through whatever difficulties may arise. It gives us the strength to stick to our truth, to do what's right, even in difficult situations. Not to take what we might think is the easy way out, right? I know we've all done this. You've seen an opportunity to take some shortcut or do something that you know isn't quite right, but it seems like it would be much easier, right? It would fix the problem. It's a trap, right? Right? Just like the universe throws up opportunities for you, there are also obstacles. And some of those obstacles look like shortcuts. They look like solutions, right? Lazy solutions or unethical solutions. Right? And we may choose sometimes to take those. Um, we think no one will find out. What does it matter? Right? The thing is, it all matters, even if no one ever finds out, because you know, and your actions have consequences. Even if, nobody catches you, you've done that action. You know that that action happened. The universe knows that action happened. And um, you will reap the consequences. It may not be that day, but at some point. So, like with many things in life, doing things the first time correctly is the best answer. We won't always do that. You know that, right? I know that. Um, but keep it in mind. So, moving fingers and toes, hands and feet, getting yourself going again, making your way up to a seat. When you're ready, let's bring hands together. Deep breath in and out. Thank you for taking time this morning for some yoga, for sharing it with all of us here. I hope that you have a beautiful Wednesday. Namaste. Okay, um, there's some yoga. I'm going to move into meditation here. 5 minutes. Just timed meditation this time. So getting comfortable, closing the eyes, sitting up nice and tall, relaxing. Just normal breath, comfortable breath, nothing unusual. Finding that peace and quiet within. back to awareness, coming out of our meditation. That seemed like a very long 5 minutes to me. I don't know about you. All right. Well, that's it. Wednesday. I'll be back tomorrow, when it will be Thursday. All day. All right. See you then.